So, good morning, friends. So, today we are going to discuss about a problem on cantilever. So, uh, this cantilever, it is defined as a beam that is fixed at one end and which is free at another end. So a beam which is fixed at one end and free at another end, that is called as cantilever. So generally a beam is defined as any member which is capable of receiving loads acting at different points. So this is called as a beam, and we have different types of beams. So these beams are classified into different categories, namely cantilever, simply supported beam, fixed beam, and continuous beam. So, as mentioned just now, if a beam is fixed at one end and free at another end, it is called as a cantilever. And similarly, if a beam is fixed at both the ends, it is called as a fixed beam. And similarly, if a beam is supported at both the ends, it is called as simply supported beam. And finally, if a beam is supported at different points along the length of the member, it is called as a continuous beam. So this way beams are classified into different categories, namely cantilever, simply supported beam, fixed beam, and continuous beam. So here we have to solve a problem on this cantilever. So we have to make calculations of shear force and bending moment values. And taking these values, we have to construct diagrams, two diagrams. The first one called as shear force diagram, called as SF diagram. The second one called as bending moment diagram, or simply it is referred to as BM diagram. So friends, the construction of these two diagrams are important at the end of solving the problem. So for constructing these diagrams, we have to calculate shear force values and also bending moment values at different points along the length of the beam. So taking these values, ultimately we have to construct these diagrams. So the first one called as shear force diagram, and the second one referred to as bending moment diagram. So now this of cantilever that is given in the top of the problem. So we can see the arrangement of the cantilever. So all the beams will be arranged in horizontal position. So we can see the arrangement of cantilever in a horizontal position. And this cantilever, it is fixed at the left hand side of the beam. So this is shown by hatched lines. So that's the way of indicating the fixed point of the beam. So the beam is fixed at the left end of the beam is fixed in position, and this is the right end of the beam that is free in position. So it is fixed at one end and it is free at another end. So friends, that's why it is called as a cantilever. So that's how it is defined actually. So therefore, it is defined as a beam which is fixed at one point and free at another point. So that is referred to as a cantilever. And now we can see different loads acting on the cantilever. So a load of 800 newtons acting at the free end of the beam, and a load of 500 newtons, acting at a point of 0.8 meters from the free end of the beam, and one more load is acting at one more load of 300 newtons acting at a distance of 0.5 meter from the fixed end of the beam. So for this configuration, so we have to make calculations, and ultimately using these values we have to construct shear force and bending moment diagrams. Now friends, this total length it is given. So this distance is given as 0.5 meters, and the second distance given as 0.7 meters, and finally this distance is given as 0.8 meters. So add up all these values, it will be coming to 2 meters. That means the distance between the fixed and free end of the beam, so that is called as length of the beam. It's also called as span of the beam. And in this problem, the length of the beam, it is given, total length of the beam, it is given as 2 meters. So the distance between fixed and free end of the beam, that is called as the length of the beam or span of the beam. and small l or capital L is used for indicating this parameter. So the value of L is not directly given in the problem, but individual distances are shown in the figure. So add up all these values, so automatically you will be in a position to get the, to find out the length of the beam. So friends, adding these values, it will be coming to 2 meters. So therefore, the length of the cantilever that is given in the problem is taken as 2 meters. So this is the, data that is given in the problem. So fixed end of the beam will be shown in the problem. Free end of the beam will be shown in the problem. Individual distances will be given in between various points, and add up all the distances, you will be getting the total length of the beam. And also several loads will be given, several loads acting on the beam will be given in the question. So, and the distance between the loads and distance between the loads and ends of the beam will be also given in the problem. So friends, using this data, so we have to make calculations of shear forces. Also, we have to make calculations of bending moments, and by taking all the values of shear forces and bending moments, we have to construct two diagrams. So the first one called as shear force diagram, and the second one, it is referred to as bending moment diagram. So in any problem, construction of these diagrams are very, very essential. Construction of shear force diagram and the construction of bending moment diagram. So these are very, very essential. So for preparing these diagrams, we have to make the calculations of shear forces and bending moments. And using these values, we have to prepare shear force and bending moment diagrams. So firstly, we have to prepare the shear force diagram, and finally we have to construct and indicate the bending moment diagram. So friends, as the name itself implies, the first diagram is constructed by taking all the values of shear forces across the length of the beam. So simply it is referred to as shear force diagram. So will be taking all the values of shear forces and will be constructing a diagram. So that will be indicating the shear forces acting at different points in the beam. So simply that's why it is referred to as a shear force diagram. And similarly, we take all the values of bending moments at various points in the beam and prepare one more diagram. So that diagram will be indicating the values of bending moments at various points in the beam. So therefore, simply it is referred to as bending moment diagram. So a diagram that is constructed by using the values of shear forces, it is called as a shear force diagram. And the diagram which is constructed by using all the values of bending moment, so it is called as a bending moment diagram. So friends, construction of these diagrams are very essential while solving problems on cantilevers, and also for while solving problems on simply supported beams. So friends, this is about the importance of preparing shear force and bending moment diagrams. Now, looking at this figure, we can very easily make out that the forces are acting in downward direction. So before that, we have to mark the various points of this particular cantilever beam. So letters are used for indicating the points on the beam. So letter A, letter B, and letter C, and letter D. So therefore, this is called as point A, this is called as point B, and this is called as point C, and here we have point D. So friends, the fixed letter A is used for indicating the fixed end of the beam, and the letter D is used for indicating the free end of the beam. And similarly, letter B is used for indicating the force of 300 newtons acting at 0.5 meters from the fixed end. And the letter C used for indicating the load of 500 newtons acting at a distance of 0.8 meters from the free end of the beam. So friends, we have to use alphabets for indicating the important points of the beam. So here in this problem, letter A is used for indicating the fixed end of the beam, letter D for indicating the free end of the beam, and letter B for indicating the load of 300 newtons, and letter C for indicating the load of 500 newtons. And finally, a load of, as already shown in the figure, one more load of 800 newtons is acting at the free end of the beam. So friends, marking of points is very important. So that is very useful for writing the equations and making calculations and getting the figures. And also at the same time, it is also useful ultimately for the construction of shear force and bending moment diagrams. So friends, marking of important points on the beam is very essential. So here in this problem, we have letter A is used for indicating the fixed end of the beam, and the letter D for indicating the free end of the beam, and the letter B for indicating the load of 300 newtons. And finally, letter C is used for indicating the load of 500 newtons. So this is the way, if it is given in the problem, well and good, we can use the same letters. Otherwise, according to our convenience, we have to, mark all these points. So marking of points are very, very essential. Marking of fixed end of the beam, marking of free end of the beam, and marking of various loads acting at different points on the beam. So all these markings are ultimately very, very essential for writing the equations, also for making the calculations. And also they are ultimately, finally used, very, very useful for proper construction and proper indication of shear force and bending moment diagrams. So this is, as a whole, this cantilever, it is defined as a beam that is fixed in one position, and it is free in another position. So if a beam is fixed in one position and free at another position, simply it is referred to as a cantilever. So finally, these are the loads. So a cantilever is shown in the diagram, and three loads are acting, point loads are shown in the figure. So the distances, individual distances are already marked in the figure. So using this data, so we have to prepare equations, to make calculations, and ultimately we have to, construct shear force and bending moment diagrams. So friends, let us, go to the next slide. Before starting the problem, we will note down the general rules and procedures to be adopted for writing the, for solving the problem and for constructing the shear force and bending moment diagrams. So friends, we have already noted down the, one second, we have already noted down the definition of the cantilever. So it is fixed at the left hand side of the beam, and it is free, it is kept free at the right hand side of the beam as shown in the figure. So this is fixed at one end, and it is free at another end. So fixed at a point A and free at point D. So as shown in the figure. So therefore, it is referred to as a cantilever. And friends, as given in the problem, the beam is divided into three regions or three portions, namely AB, BC, and CD. So, indicating these are the important points. So, indication of fixed end, indication of free end, and indication of loads acting at different points. So that and all we have seen in the previous slide. So we have taken point A as a fixed end, point D as a free end, and a load of 300 newtons is acting at a point that is marked as point B. One more load 500 is acting at another point that is marked as a point C. So therefore, friends, this beam, for our convenience, for making calculations, we have to divide the beam into different regions or different portions. So therefore, in this problem, according to the data given in the problem, the beam is divided into three regions, three portions. The first region called as AB, and the second region called as BC, and the third region called as CD. So as per the configuration, as per the data given in the problem, so we are dividing this particular cantilever into three portions. Sometimes you may have to divide the beam only into two portions. Sometimes maybe you may have to divide the beam into four portions. So it depends upon the data and number of loads given in the problem. So here only three loads are acting on the cantilever. So one load is acting at the free end of the beam, and other two loads are shown at points B and point C as discussed in the first slide. So friends, this according to the data given in the problem, according to the number of loads shown in the problem. So this beam, it is enough if it is divided into three regions or three portions. So first portion, AB is used, should be used for indicating the first portion, and BC for indicating the second portion, and CD for indicating the last portion of the beam. So friends, this is very, very essential, dividing beam as per the data given in the problem. So dividing the beam into, different regions or different portions is very, very important for writing equations and making calculations. So as per the data given in the problem, as per the number of loads given in the figure, so it has to be divided into three regions, three portions. Therefore, it is divided into three regions. So AB for indicating first region, BC for indicating second region, and CD for indicating third region. And friends, we have to make calculations. So for making calculations, it is better to begin from the right hand side of the beam, and we have to proceed on to the left hand side of the beam. So we have to move in reverse direction. So firstly, we have to make calculations pertaining to CD region. So what is the value of shear forces? What are the values of shear forces in the CD region? And secondly, we have to go for BC region, and finally we have to go for AB region. So one after the other, we have to measure the values of shear forces and bending moments in all these regions. So firstly, we have to make calculations for CD region. Secondly, we have to go for BC region. And finally, we have to go for AB region. So friends, always it is better to start from the right hand side of the beam. You proceed in reverse direction and ultimately you will be landing at the left hand side of the beam. So friends, right hand side of the beam is free in position. It's called as free end of the beam. The left hand side is of the beam is fixed in position. That is called as fixed point of the beam. So we have to start the problem from free end of the beam, and we have to proceed in reverse direction for reaching the fixed end. So free end is present, indicated on the right hand side of the beam, and fixed end is shown on the left hand side of the beam. So I have to move from a free end to fixed end. So that's why we are starting from right hand side of the beam, and we are proceeding on to the left hand side of the beam. So friends, calculations, I mean, we have to make, first we have to take the CD region for doing calculations. Secondly, in the second stage, we have to take BC region, make calculations. And finally, we have to take the AB region for making calculations. So this is the, I mean, order in which we have to write the equations. This is the order to be followed for writing the equations and making the calculations of shear forces and bending moment values. And considering this, vertical sections, that is very, very important. So in each and every portion, a vertical section XX is considered at a distance of X meter from point D. That means at a distance of X meter from free end of the beam. This has to be adapted for all the portions of the beam. So first you are selecting CD region as shown as mentioned in this step. So first you are taking CD region, making calculations. You select the CD region, then consider a vertical section XX at a distance of X meter from point D of the beam. And secondly, you go to BC region. Again, you consider vertical section XX, again at a distance of X meter from point D. Finally, you go to AB region. Again, consider one vertical section XX at a distance of X meter from point D. And this has to be done for all the regions of the beam, all the portions of the. So friends, considering a vertical section XX at a distance of X meter from the free end of the beam, that is very, very essential for writing equations for all the portions of the beam. So for CD portion, we have to, use the same method. We have to consider the section like this. For BC region also, we have to, follow the same procedure. And ultimately for AB region also, we have to follow the same procedure. So consideration of vertical section XX at a distance of x meter from the free end of the beam. That is very essential for writing SF and BM equations for CD region and for BC region and also for AB region. So this same procedure has to be adopted for writing the equations, SF and BM equations for the CD region followed by BC region and ultimately for AB region of the B. So friends, this is very useful because unless you write equations, we cannot make calculations. Unless we make calculations, we cannot, get the results, figures, values, answers. Unless you get the answers, you cannot construct shear force and bending moment diagrams. So without getting the SF values, we cannot construct SF diagram. Without getting bending moment values, we cannot construct BM diagram. So writing equations is very important. So for doing that, considering sections is very important. So this thing has to be remembered. This is very essential. This point, fifth point is very important for writing shear force equations and bending moment equations at all the regions of the cantilever. So CD region of the cantilever, BC region of the cantilever, AB region of the cantilever. So writing equations is very important. So we have to remember this point this fifth point is very important, essential for writing SF and BM equations at different regions of the cantilever. And friends, while writing the equations, allocation of signs are very important. So if a load is acting, if a force is acting in downward direction, simply plus symbol has to be allotted for all the loads acting in downward direction, and the minus symbol to be indicated for all the forces acting in upward direction. So friends, this is very important. Allocation of signs, very important. Instead of positive values, you are getting negative values. Instead of negative values, you are getting positive values. So you'll be going wrong while preparing SF and BM diagrams. Allocation of symbols, signs, very important. Positive sign must be allotted only for forces acting in downward direction, and negative sign to be allotted for forces acting only in upward direction. So friends, as far as forces are concerned, please allocate positive signs for downward forces, and please allocate negative signs for upward forces. And similarly, if a force is acting in downward direction, the beam will have a tendency to rotate in clockwise direction. So negative symbol has to be allotted for indicating clockwise movements. And similarly, if a force is acting in upward direction, the beam will have a tendency to move in anti-clockwise direction. So positive symbol must be allotted for indicating anti-clockwise movements. So allocation of symbols are very important, my dear friends. allocation of symbols very important for getting correct values of shear forces and bending moment diagrams. But friends, so far as this problem is concerned, all the forces are acting in downward direction. So allot positive symbols for all the forces. And because of downward forces, the beam will have a tendency to move in clockwise direction. So clockwise movements must be allotted with a negative symbol. So we'll be getting all clockwise movements. So therefore allocate a negative signs for all these movements. So all the forces are acting in downward direction. So in this problem, my dear friends, all the forces are acting in downward direction. So allocate positive symbols. And all the moments are acting because of downward forces. All the moments are acting in clockwise direction. So please allocate negative signs for all the moments. So friends, as far as this problem is concerned, so positive signs, only downward forces are only the forces are acting only in downward direction, and movements are taking place only in clockwise direction as a result. So therefore, positive signs must be allotted for indicating downward loads. So please allocate positive signs for indicating the loads acting in downward direction. And please allocate negative signs for indicating the movements acting in clockwise direction. So friends, as written in this statement, they are very essential for writing equations and making calculations at different points. So instead of plus symbol, you are using minus symbol. Instead of minus symbol, you are using plus symbol. It may be shear force or it may be bending moment diagram. Wherever it may be, you are putting wrong symbols, you will be getting wrong results, and you will not be in a position to construct shear force and bending moment diagrams. So considering of vertical sections, allocating of signs, symbols for different forces and different movements, very essential for getting the results. Very ultimately, very essential for constructing a shear force diagrams, also for constructing bending moment diagrams. So friends, these are the rules which we are supposed to remember for solving problems on cantilevers, and also in the case of other beams also. As friends, now let us talk about the calculations of SF and VM values. So as mentioned in the previous slides, we have to begin with the CD region and we have to move in reverse direction. So therefore, CD region is considered for writing the equations. So friends, in the CD region, if you take a section, if you take a vertical section in CD region, so only one force is acting on the right hand side of the section, only one force is acting in downward direction. So that is equivalent to 800 newtons. So therefore, friends, SF is written as 800 newtons. And as mentioned in the previous slide, this is acting in downward direction. So therefore, plus symbol is allotted for this value. So therefore, SF is written as plus 800 newtons. Friends, coming to the bending moment, it's nothing but a force into perpendicular distance. A force of 800 acting in downward direction. And as I have already told you in the previous slide, we have to consider a section at a distance of x meter from the free end of the beam. So perpendicular distance will be equivalent to x meter, and the amount of force is given as is obtained as 800. You multiply these values, it is coming to 800x, and load is acting in downward direction. So therefore, the beam has a tendency to move in clockwise direction. So it is a clockwise movement. So negative symbol must be allotted to this clockwise movement, because it's a clockwise movement. Negative symbol has to be allotted to this value. So it is written as minus 800x. So friends, for CD region, SF is obtained as plus 800, and bending moment, it is obtained as minus 800x. So friends, this has to be expressed in newtons, and this will be in Newton meter. So 800 will be in newtons and x will be in meter. So ultimately it is written as Newton meter. So all the values of bending moment obtained in terms of Newton meter, all the values of shear forces obtained in terms of newtons. So friends, writing this is the SF equation, and this is the BM equation so far as the CD region is concerned. So writing these equations for each and every region, writing these equations very, very important. Now you can take the limits of this x value. Lower limit to be taken as 0. You are starting from free end of the beam, and this CD region is extending up to 0.8 meter from point D. So lower limit is taken as 0, and upper limit must be taken as 0.8 meters. So using these values, friends, we have to make the SFBM calculations. Now this general equation is totally free of x parameter. So therefore SF will be equivalent to 800 newtons. Here also SF will be equivalent to 800 newtons. It is independent of this x value. Whereas bending moment, it is totally depending upon the x value. So x value is appearing in the main bending moment equation. So you substitute, take the value of x as 0, you will be getting the first equation. Take the value of x as 0.8, you will be getting the second value. So friends, 800 into 0, you put this limit, x is 0, lower limit is 0. So, take the value of x as 0, put the value of x as 0, 800 into 0, it will be equivalent to 0 Newton meter. Again here, 800 into 0.8, 0.8, this upper limit is 0.8. So put the value of x as 0.8. So 800 into 0.8, it will be coming to 640 Newton meters. So negative symbol, you should not forget, this is the clockwise movement. So you get a negative symbol for all these values. So here this is written as 0 value, and this is written as minus 640 Newton meter. So friends, this is the way of getting the SF. This is the way of writing SF and BM equations for CD region. This is a way of getting the values of SF values. This is the way of getting SF values and bending moment values so far as the CD region is concerned. Now friends, let us go to the BC region. So again, we have to consider vertical section. Again, the distance of x meter from point D. So two forces will be coming into picture. So both the forces are acting in downward direction. It is written as a plus 800 plus 500. Total it is coming to 1300 newtons. Now let us observe the bending moment equation. So this is written as minus 800 into x. So this is a clockwise movement. So it is written as minus 800 into x. And this is written as minus 500 into x minus 0.8. So this load 800 is acting at a distance of x meter from the section. The 500 it is acting at a distance of x minus 0.8 meters. So therefore this is used for making this calculation. X is used for making the first calculation, x minus 0.8 to be used for making the second calculation. And friends, we can see the limits. Lower limit for second region, lower limit must be taken as 0.8, upper limit to be taken as 1.5. The shear force values, they are free of, shear force equation free of x values. So therefore, this is given as 1300 newtons. This is also given as plus 1300 newtons. Now coming to the bending moment equation. Firstly, you substitute the value of x, you take the value of x as 0.8 in this equation, you get the first value. Take the value of x as 1.5, so you'll be getting the second value. So friends, 800 into 0.8, it will be coming to 640, and 0.8 minus 0.8, it is 0. So therefore, ultimately, it is obtained as 640 Newton meter. And this is a clockwise movement. So therefore, a negative symbol is allotted, and it is shown as minus 640 Newton meter. And again, friends, take the value of x as 1.5, substitute in this equation, 800 into 1.5, 500 into 1.5 minus 0.8, that is 0.7. So this will be coming to 1200, this will be coming to 350. So totally it will be coming to 1550. So all these moments are acting in clockwise direction. So this will be minus 1200. This is minus. This will be minus 350. So ultimately, it is obtained as a minus 1550. Newton meters. So friends, this is the way of measuring SF and VM values. So first we are writing the main equations of shear force and bending moment, shear force and bending moment, and we are taking the limits. One is the lower limit and the other one is upper limit. And using lower limit, we are getting the first set of values, first set of SF and VM values, and using the upper limit, we are getting the second set of SF and VM values. So friends, now finally we are coming to the last region. So again, we have to consider a vertical section XX that is acting at a distance of x meter from point D. So three loads will be available on the right hand side of the section. First is 800 newtons, second one 500 newtons, the last one 300 newtons. So it is written as plus 800 plus 500 plus 300. It will be coming to 1600 newtons. And friends, now based on this, we have to write bending moment equation. So this force is acting at a distance of x meter. We are considering a distance of a section that's at a distance of x meter from point D in all the regions. So this is acting at a distance of x meter. So it is written as 800x. This is acting at a distance of x minus 0.8. So we are putting this value. The last one acting at a distance of x minus 1.5. So it is written as 300 into x minus 1.5. So friends, this is the SF equation, and this is the general equation of bending moment so far as AB region is concerned. And friends, just like previous sections, previous regions, you select the
limits for this region. So 1.5, you are coming from point D. So 1.5 will be the lower limit, and 2 meters will be the upper limit of X for AB region. So you substitute the value of X, you take the value of X as 1.5 and get the first set of SF and BM values. You take the next, secondly, you take the value of X as 2 meters and use it in these equations. So we get the second set of SF and VM values. So here the first limit, the lower limit is 1.5. So this SF equation is free of X values. So the first value is written as 1600. The second value is also written as 1600. Now coming to the bending moment equation, you take the value of X as 1.5, substitute in this equation. So ultimately it is obtained as a minus 1550 Newton meter. Take the value of X as 2.0 and take this value and put it in this equation, and it will be obtained as 2350 Newton meters. And both the moments, all the moments in this problem, they are acting in clockwise direction. So we have to allocate negative symbol for indicating clockwise movements. So this is written as minus 1550, and this is written as 2350. So friends, we got all these values. So take these values and all these values are plotted in the form of diagrams. So at X is equivalent to 0, this shear force is 800. Again at 0.8 also it is 800, and 0.8 at X is equal to 0.8 it is rising to 1300, and 1.5 also it is coming to 1300, and again at the same point it is raising to 1600, and at the last point it is equivalent to 1600. So we have taken, you take all the values obtained in A, B, BC and CD regions, and plot all these values in this diagram, and you are taking the SF values of this configuration. So you are getting SF diagram. And similarly, let us take bending moment values at X is equivalent to 0. It is 0. It is marked as 0. And at X is equivalent to 0.8, it is we got it as 640 minus 640. So this distance will be equivalent to minus 640. And at X is equivalent to 1.5, it is obtained as a 1550. So friends, this distance will be equivalent to minus 1550 Newton meter. And finally, at the last point, we got the bending moment at X is equivalent to 2. We got the value of bending moment as 2350. So this distance will be equivalent to 2350 Newton meters. So this way, take the values at different points and prepare the take SF values at different points, prepare SF diagram. Take bending moment values at different points to prepare, we can prepare a bending moment diagram. So friends, finally, all the forces are acting in downward direction. So therefore, we are using positive symbol for indicating all the forces. And because of downward forces, the member, the beam will have a tendency to move in clockwise direction. So negative symbol must be allotted to, clockwise moments. So we are getting all positive figures for shear force values and all negative figures for bending moment values. And friends, this is the baseline. You can see the baseline for SF diagram, and this is the baseline for bending moment diagram. So the shear for all the values of shear force are positive. So therefore, are coming. All these values are plotted above the baseline. All the values of bending moment are negative. So therefore, they are plotted. Below the baseline. So in any case, whether it is SF diagram or BM diagram, positive values will be coming on the top of the baseline or above the baseline. Negative values to be marked below the baseline or at the bottom of the baseline. So friends, so here as per this configuration, as per the loads acting on the beam that is shown in this figure, all the SF values will be positive and all the moments will be negative. So totally shear force diagram is coming above the baseline, and totally bending moment diagram is coming below the baseline. So thank you very much, my dear friends, for joining the section.